let's say that the whole BlackRock scheme is a scam. Let's say Ms. Warren cooked up with Larry, hey, let's create this ETF. Let's go buy up all the Bitcoin. And then I'll pass a bill and we'll seize it. Okay, now let's think about this for a second. If they were to do that, they'd have to get it through Congress. But let's say they could get it through Congress. It'd be kind of hard, but let's say they could. They'd be seizing it not from the drug dealers and the terrorists, but from the boomers who vote for them, the pension funds, the foundations, the widows and orphans who own the shares of those ETFs. But let's say they said, fuck it, we're going to do that anyway. As long as they don't get 100%, all the value of the network goes to what's left. But I think the likelihood that one entity could ever get all of it is zero. I mean, it's just impossible because they're not getting mine, right? They're probably not getting yours. And there's a few people that just aren't going to sell. And everybody says, well, there's a price at which you would sell. Yeah, there probably is. There probably is. And at that point, I'd have enough fiat that I could, be comfortable and do what I want. But even then, there probably are some people who say, it's not about the money. I'm never going to sell.
Mark Yusko, the founder, CEO, and CIO of Morgan Creek Capital Management, recently shared that no one, not even BlackRock or MicroStrategy, can ever fully control Bitcoin. Its decentralized design makes it unstoppable. Bitcoin is globally distributed and held by millions of individuals who are committed to holding on, ensuring its resilience. Even if a single entity tried to acquire as much as possible, the value of the network would still flow to those who continue to hold. As long as believers refuse to sell, Bitcoin will remain beyond the reach of any single entity, regardless of its power. Stay tuned to hear Mark Yusko's insights on why Bitcoin can never be controlled and learn about his price target for 2025.
Hi guys, hope to see you guys at Dubai Token 2049. We have exclusive 10% off the limited super early bird tickets. Click the link below. This pass will grant you access to speaking sessions, networking app, exhibition hall, daily networking drinks, and also included breakfast, lunch, and coffee breaks, all included the package. I love to see everyone there. Peace out.
On the same token, as BlackRock, any concerns about Saylor and the amount of debt he's raising and all these bonds he's issuing? I'm a bit worried because I guess, is it leverage? I don't know. I'm a bit worried there. Not that he's buying Bitcoin, just the amount of debt he's raising to buy it.
Yeah. But remember, it's not like unsecured debt. It's debt secured by Bitcoin. And the beautiful thing is he buys more Bitcoin than the amount of equity and debt he issues. So he's capturing extra value every time he does one of those transactions, and his debt has no cost and it's convertible. So at the end of the day, look, leverage cuts both ways. You are 100% right to be nervous about leverage, but there's a level of leverage that is very prudent. And he's nowhere close to the high end of that. There's a level of leverage that's stupid, right? Think about a mortgage. If you put 20% down, 80% mortgage, 4-to-1 leverage, it's totally prudent. Why? Well, because you don't mark to market your house every day. So it's totally prudent. Bitcoin, an 80 vol asset with minute to minute liquidity, probably 4-to-1 is a little bit high. So 1.5 to 1, 1.25 to 1, 1.8 to 1, whatever. There's some number that's probably right. Now, if you go to, the Bitfinex guys or whoever the bad guys were that were doing 50-to-1 leverage or 100-to-1 leverage on Bitcoin, no, that's stupid, right? That's dumb. Yeah, I shouldn't out my little brother about this, but he called me up one day and says, they stole my Bitcoin. I'm like, what? So Bitfinex, like, stop. No one stole your Bitcoin. You borrowed way too much. You got a margin call. You couldn't meet it, and they took the collateral. That's not stealing. Now, If the purpose of the business was to do that, right, to lure people in to get over levered and then take their Bitcoin, okay, maybe that is theft. But no one twisted his arm to make that trade. Leverage is a very dangerous tool above a certain level. At an appropriate level, particularly asset-backed leverage, if I'm levering up a company that's all based on fashion and people's taste could change, that's bad. If I'm levering up a depreciating asset, like a car, pretty bad. If I'm levering up a house that appreciates, it's actually a pretty good trade.
Saylor's approach is a far cry from the reckless 50x or 100x leverage that has led to the downfall of many traders. When used wisely, leverage on appreciating assets like Bitcoin can be a powerful strategy. However, take it too far and it becomes a ticking time bomb. What are your thoughts on Michael Saylor's strategy? Would you consider it advisable? Share your opinions in the comments. Now, let's go back to Mark Yusko for more of his insight.
Hi, you're about 150, 160?
Yeah, I mean,
the Fibonacci and Elliott wave is showing a bit higher, but no one can call these.
I come to 150 based on, I think fair value by April, May next year is around 100. I think we go 50% above fair value because of the gamblers. And because I don't think there's as much leverage this time. Usually we get 2 times fair value, so that would be 200. But I think we get to 150, and then we have the correction. And how much below fair value do we go next time? Probably not as far as the last 2 times where we got 50% below fair value. So I don't see a retrace all the way to 50, but probably to 75-ish, something like that. We're about 14% in on the way to 100. And the next 8 years, we're going to go from 14% to 80. That's a mind blower, right? But that's how S curves work.
Right.
They start slow, takes 10 years to get 10%, and then you get another 80% in 10 years, and then the last 10% takes a long time. And so I think the adoption is going to continue to accelerate. The FOMO will kick in. It's not just FOMO, it's just most people haven't done the work, which is amazing when you think about it. I mean, you've done the work, and I've done the work, and other people have done the work. People watching the show have done the work. But the vast majority of people, like I was at Bitcoin 2024 down in Nashville, and they had the lanyard, and it had little Bitcoins on it, and it had circles around the B like a record album, like the old LP, black disc. And I'm standing in front of this barbecue joint to get lunch, and the receptionist says, "Oh, are those beehives?" I'm like, wow. I mean, the conference is going on right there. There's 20,000 Bitcoiners in town. And I'm not making fun of her. I mean, she just had no reason to understand or appreciate or know what, she didn't care. I mean, no one had told her about it. And this is after 15 years of it being around. Eventually, she's going to say, "Oh, yeah, I know what Bitcoin is." And after, the 10-minute conversation with me and the other 4 people, that she probably did at least know part of it.
Right.
There was another one. I was at an event the other day, and it was a Bitcoin event. And the bartender came over. She was talking with us, and she said, "I just don't really understand this Bitcoin thing. Can you explain it to me?" And he said, and one of the guys said, and this is great. He said, "Well, you were here a month ago when we did this monthly event, and all of us who tipped you in cash in the last month, that amount of tips is now worth less. Had we tipped you in Bitcoin, if you had a little QR code and we tipped you in Bitcoin, it would be worth more." And literally, like, her head exploded right there in front of us. I mean, it was like, oh my God, they stole my money. The evil government, and it clicked. And she's like, "How do I get a QR code?" And one of the guys set up a little QR code, and they set it up there. And I think she got some tips in Bitcoin. So that's a really incremental journey. But just like in 1998, the average person who heard of Google was like, what do I need the number 21 search engine for? Ask Jeeves, Alta Vista, web crawler. I don't need Google. That's stupid.
In other news, Bitcoin has surpassed its previous all-time high, soaring past $16,000, following a bold announcement from newly elected U.S. President Donald Trump, confirming his positive stance on Bitcoin. Meanwhile, reports suggest that Russia may take a lead over the U.S. by establishing its own Bitcoin reserve. Analysts are also warning that the Federal Reserve could face its worst nightmare, stagflation, by 2025. Apollo's chief economist, Torsten Slok, is concerned that 2025 could resemble the 1970s, with rising inflation resulting from premature policy easing and escalating U.S. debt, which surpassed $34 trillion at the start of 2024. Despite these concerns, the Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates soon, with further cuts anticipated through 2025. However, some experts believe the Fed will adopt a more cautious approach, given the Trump administration's planned policies, including tariffs, tax cuts, and deregulation, which could reignite inflation concerns. Regardless, the Fed's expected rate cuts have given Bitcoin fresh momentum, pushing its price higher. Analysts are optimistic about continued growth, with FX Pro's Alex Kovac noting that Bitcoin's move into all-time high territory confirms a bullish trend. He added that unless traditional markets experience unexpected disruptions, further acceleration in Bitcoin's growth is likely. For more Daily Dose Crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.